Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video, I'll be listing the top 10 smartphones for 2015 in the mid-range price segment. And for the mid-range, I chose smartphones priced from rupees 10,000 all the way up to 25,000. And this will not be based upon the pricing, and have tested a lot of smartphones, and this year was very exciting because we got a lot of smartphones, particularly in the mid-range, and many of the smartphones were spectacular in one area or the other. So you won't find the list based on the pricing, and you'll find some phones that are priced a lot higher to be priced a lot lower, and vice versa. The main criteria for ranking is that I take into account the price, the end user experience, which is actually very important, the battery life and the camera performance. So I can combine all of them, and based on that, I'm ranking these devices. And only the phones that were officially launched in India are included in this list. For example, the Mi 4C is also a very good phone, but that was not launched in India. So those kind of phones are not in this list. And I made a lot of notes actually. This was a very tough video. I had to work on this for a long time. I was working for the past 4 days. So let's get on with this one. And I won't go in depth regarding what do you say, each smartphone, what are the pros and the cons. I'll try to give a summary, and I have already done in-depth reviews for all these smartphones. So links for those videos will be in the YouTube show notes. So let's get on. And at the 10th position, I have the Moto X Play that is sold in India for around 18,500. What I like with the phone is it has a good screen, a 5.5 inch 1080p screen. Also in terms of battery life, the battery life is sort of above average. Motorola says that you can get about 2 days of battery life on the Moto X Play, but it's not like that. I would say it can easily last for a full working day to about 1.5 days. Also, it's completely almost stock Android experience. So if you like stock Android, you will like it. Also, I like that it also has the touchless controls and the Moto Voice. So those are the things that are included. But on the negative, though the phone supports fast charging, Motorola has not bundled the fast charger. So that is a big con in my opinion. And also with some heavy games, the Moto X Play lacks. So the Moto X Play is at the 10th position. Now moving to the 9th position, I have the Asus Zenfone 2 Laser, which is priced for just around 10,000. And I feel for the price, it offers incredible value. What I really like is the quality of the screen that is provided. It has a good quality screen. Also, the overall performance is really good. It has the Snapdragon 410 chipset, and it runs the Asus Zen UI without any lag, and the overall performance of the phone was good. Also, in terms of battery life, the battery life that I got on this Asus Zenfone 2 Laser was incredible. Almost about 5.5 to 6.5 hours of screen on time, which is amazing. Also, it is sort of comfortable to also hold in the hand because of its curved back. Moving to the negative aspects, it has a very weak speaker, and also the camera performance is sort of average. So the Zenfone 2 Laser is at the 9th position. Now moving to the 8th position, here actually it is the Moto G3, but I have also included this Moto G Turbo in that because these devices are very similar to each other. This is the Moto G Turbo that I have in my hand. And the Moto G3 regular version, that is the one with 2 gigabytes of RAM, is priced at around 13,000, and this Moto G Turbo is priced around at 14,500. And I would say overall it's a very good phone. The in-hand feel is really good. It feels really nice in the hand, a solid build quality. And the battery life on both the Turbo and the regular Moto G3 is above average. You can easily get about 4 to 4.5 hours of screen on time. I also like the fact that they have Moto display. But the thing with the Moto G3 is that if you are sort of a gamer, then I would not recommend you the regular Moto G3. Here, the Moto Turbo definitely goes ahead. So if you are a gamer, invest a little bit more and go for the Turbo. But if you don't do gaming, I feel the Moto G3 is also a very good handset. Also in terms of camera performance, the camera performance is actually really good. In fact, this is surprising. Both of them have a 13 megapixel camera, and both of them actually do very good in outdoor lighting. But I noticed that the regular Moto G3 does a little bit better in artificial lighting compared to the Moto G Turbo. But in terms of video, the Moto G Turbo does a little bit better. Moving to the cons, I would say the biggest con that I have with the Moto G3 and the Moto G Turbo is the screen quality. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad screen. It's a 720p screen, but the screen quality is sort of average in my opinion, and it has a little bit of color shifting if you just tilt the phone here and there. So the screen quality could have been better. So it's the Moto G and the Moto G Turbo at the 8th position. Let's move forward. And at the 7th position, I have the Samsung Galaxy J7. And it has a very good quality Super AMOLED screen, which is a 5.5 inch screen, and it's also vibrant and bright. Also, moving to the battery life that I was getting with the Samsung Galaxy J7 is also excellent. I would say anywhere between 5 to 6 hours of screen on time. Also, moving to the camera, both the rear facing camera as well as the front facing camera on the Samsung Galaxy J7 are above average if you take the competition into account. So the camera performance was also really good. And in fact, in terms of gaming, the Samsung Galaxy J7 performed the best among this price range. Moving to the negative aspects, it again has a very weak speaker, and also as it's a Samsung device, it does not have even basic sensors like auto brightness and stuff, and also it's a little bit slippery in the hand. Moving to the 6th position, I have this OnePlus X. As you notice, it's a very slim phone, and also I have to say this is one of the most stylish phone in this range. What I really like is the overall performance. It performs actually very well. Overall, it is powered by the Snapdragon 801 chipset and it runs at fine, I would say. Also, when we talk about the screen quality on this OnePlus X is excellent. It's got an excellent AMOLED screen. Also, if you like compact phones, then you might like this OnePlus X, as it easily fits in your hand. It's a single hand device. Also, moving to the camera, I won't say the camera is the best, but overall I would say the camera performance is actually pretty decent on this OnePlus X. Moving to the cons, I have to say this OnePlus X is one of the most slippery phone in this entire segment. So you have to be careful with that. Also, when we talk about the battery life is not bad, not great. I would say strictly sort of average. Also, I noticed that due to this glass back, sometimes the device tends to heat up a little bit. Also, as it runs Oxygen OS, I would say the Oxygen OS as of now has a little bit of bugs. So you have to be aware of that. Everything might not run as you expect at times. Now, moving to the 5th position, I have the Asus Zenfone 2, the one with the 4 gigabytes of RAM. The best thing with that phone is that it runs very fluidly. Again, it runs the custom UI, that is Zen UI, but it runs it very fluidly. I did not notice any lag or anything like that. Also, in terms of multitasking, thanks to that 4 gigabytes of RAM, the multitasking experience also was excellent on the Zenfone 2. Also, it's excellent in terms of gaming. I did a lot of gaming also with the Zenfone 2 and it performed very well. Moving to the negative aspect, and yes, it also has fast charging. Now, moving to the negative aspects, it has a very average camera in my opinion, and also the battery life is also sort of average on the Zenfone 2. Now, moving to the 4th position, we have the popular OnePlus 2, and the best thing I like about the OnePlus 2 is the metallic body, so it feels actually good in the hand. It feels like a very sturdy device. Also, it has a fingerprint scanner, and I would say the fingerprint scanner is decent but not among the best that I have seen. And in overall operations also, the phone was fluid to operate. It also does actually very good in gaming, but again with extended gaming it tends to heat up a little bit. And one more thing that I really like on the OnePlus 2 is the excellent cellular call quality, which was actually not that good on the OnePlus 1. So I like the cellular call quality on the OnePlus 2. Now, moving to the negative aspects, I think so OnePlus 2 did some cost cutting, and first thing is regarding the camera. They chose to use the Toshiba sensor, and I have to say the camera performance is sort of strictly very average. And in terms of video, the video quality is strictly bad. It has a lot of focusing issues and the video quality is not that good. Also, it feels a little bit top heavy in the hand. So in terms of in hand feel, the balance is a little bit off in my opinion. Also, as it runs again on the Oxygen OS, so it's a little bit of a buggy experience. Also, the fingerprint scanner, as I told you, sometimes it works perfectly, sometimes it simply stops working. So there are quite a bit of bugs in Oxygen OS, and sometimes I feel when I tested this OnePlus 2, it felt like a beta experience. Now moving to the next device that is at third position is the Xiaomi Mi 4, and that is priced around at 15,000 for the 16 gigabyte variant. We also have one more variant that is 64 gigabyte, which is priced at around 18,000. The first thing is regarding the performance. It has an excellent price to performance ratio. Also in terms of battery life, the Mi 4 actually did very well in my opinion. Also the build quality is really good, and also it's a compact form factor. So if you like small phones, then you might like the Mi 4. Also I like that it also has some additional features like the IR blaster. And regarding the screen quality, also the screen quality used on the Mi 4 was very good. And also in terms of gaming, it did very well. But again, I would suggest that if you do a lot of gaming, opt for the 64 gigabyte variant of the Mi 4, as it does not have any micro SD card slot. Now moving to the negative aspects of the Mi 4, the biggest problem with the Mi 4 is that it simply does not have any 4G support in India. Also, it's a single SIM device and it's still stuck on Android KitKat. We are not sure when will it get the Android Lollipop or the Marshmallow update. So it's still stuck on KitKat. So at the third position, I would say it's the Mi 4. Now moving to the second position and the first position, it was sort of a tie in my opinion, because the devices that I have actually excel in one and other goes down in some aspects. But after a lot of thinking, the second position would go to the Nexus 5X. What I really like about the Nexus 5X, there is the Nexus 5X that I have. It runs on stock Android experience, that is Marshmallow, and it also has this fingerprint scanner, which again, as you can see, is blazingly fast, and it's very, very accurate. I feel the fingerprint scanner should be really accurate, and the scanner on this Nexus 5X is fast and very accurate. Also, in terms of camera performance, I have to say the camera performance is the best among all the phones that I have mentioned right now. The camera, the rate facing camera, is a 12 megapixel shooter, and it is the best camera that you can get in this price segment. Also, the front facing camera performance is also really good. So if camera is the highest priority, I would say have a serious look at the Nexus 5X. Though it's just a 12.3 megapixel camera, but the pictures that you take with this one are actually very good, and also has a laser autofocusing system. So camera is a highlighting point, and again, as it's a Nexus device, it's a very fluid device. Though it just has 2 gigabytes of RAM, it runs Android very fluidly and you won't notice any lag whatsoever. Now moving to the negative aspects of the Nexus 5X, as you can see, this entire Nexus 5X is made up of plastic. So it just feels, does not feel that great. It does not feel that much premium in the hand. Also, in terms of the vibration motor that it has when you type and stuff, it's very harsh in my opinion. Also, the thing is that this Nexus 16 gigabyte variant now in India is selling for 23,500. But if you're sort of a power user or something, then I would say that 16 gigabyte variant might not be enough, because it does not have any micro SD card slot. So you might have to go with the 32 gigabyte variant, which bumps up the price. I feel the price of the 32 gigabyte variant in India is still very high at around 31 to 32,000. Now moving to the top one position that I have, let me tell you, and I'll also actually talk about some of the devices that are not included in this list, but I'll talk about them later on. And the top device that I have is the Honor 7. It has an excellent build quality. It feels like a premium device, and also it's very well built. Also, it feels very good in the hand. And it also has one of the best 1080p IPS grade screen that I have seen. Also moving to the battery life that I was getting on the Honor 7, the battery life was also very good. It easily lasts for a full working day. Also in terms of UI, though it runs a custom UI that is known as Emotion UI, the performance was very good. I did not notice any lagginess or bugs with the UI. Also, it has additional features like a IR blaster, so you can use that to control devices like television, etc. Also, in terms of cellular call quality and the cellular reception, I have to say the Honor 7 had the best cellular reception, and also in terms of cellular call quality, the cellular call quality was also very good. Now, moving to the negative aspects of this Honor 7, I have to say the camera performance is not that great. In outdoor lighting and good lighting, it does a good job. But when we move to indoor lighting and artificial lighting, the performance of the camera is not that good. And also I feel that the location of the speaker on the Honor 7 is not at an ideal position. So at the first position, I have the Honor 7. So apart from these top 10 phones, I have some other phones also that didn't make it to this list, but I feel they are good devices. And at the budget range, I would say you can have a look at the Xiaomi Redmi 2 Prime. I feel it's a good overall device in the price range. I also actually like the Lenovo A6000 Plus this year, but now with the latest Android Lollipop update, the performance of that device is not that good. So I won't recommend the Lenovo A6000 Plus now. If you have a slightly higher budget and you want to go with branded devices, you can look at the Galaxy J5. Again, it doesn't have the basic sensors, but again, the screen quality is good and the camera performance and battery life is also very good on the J5. If you have slightly higher budget, I would say, and you want functionality like fingerprint scanner and stuff, you can look at the Vibe P1. I would say the biggest strength of the Vibe P1 is in terms of the battery life that you can get with this device, and also the cellular reception was very good, and it has a fingerprint scanner. But the biggest con with this Vibe P1 is that it does terrible in gaming, so definitely not for gamers. Also in the budget range, if battery life is your highest priority, then you can have a look at the Vibe P1M that sells for about 8,000 rupees. So these were my top 10 smartphones in the mid-range price bracket for 2015. Do let me know in the comment section which one is your favorite. And again, do remember that I have posted in-depth reviews with the detailed pros and cons for all these devices. Links for those reviews will be in the YouTube show notes. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.